Hello, everyone. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Just want to make a quick video to greet every one of us with this reminder, this holiday for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. No matter what country you live in, West or East, Russia, US, Ukraine, doesn't matter, all over the world, including all the countries, every nation have their heroes, every nation have somebody, something to remember. And it's a day where we celebrate, but yet it's always a little bit sad day as well, because we realize in the sacrifice. And I often feel that people, parents, do not really explain children, what these holidays are about. Almost like the holidays are just a reason to not go to school or go get some ice cream or have a steak. At the same time, I hope that people share some values and things from the past, because when you don't know your history, you won't build the right future. You have to know and honor your history. So I had some thoughts today about this. All of you know that we have a new president in Ukraine, and I'm really excited about the change. He's only starting, and it's extreme. It's going on extreme mess over there, and he's reforming a lot of things, and a lot of old politicians that been there for years. All our corruption is really mad. He is already trying to change a lot, and it's going to be extremely hard because the main issue with Ukraine is corruption. I am proud of him for even trying to make those changes. There is only one thing at this moment that I have to completely disagree with the new president on. And that thing is, he said one time in his speech that the only thing in common Ukraine has with Russia is the borders. And it's kind of a sarcastic phrase, and there was a lot of turmoil with conflict on the east. But that is so far only one thing that I completely disagree with him on. I don't know why he had to put that in his speech. And today I would like to tell you guys a little bit of my perspective on what Ukraine has in common with Russia. So before I do that, I would like to greet everybody in the room. I only told one person that I'm going to be live, but thank you guys for joining. Hello, King Nero, Stan, hi. Thanks for coming. John, hello. Thank you so much for greetings. Hello, Bob. Hey, George. Lots of daylight. We have a beautiful sunny day, so we are about to, go out and explore. But I really felt it is a good day today to share with you a little bit and give you an understanding from somebody who, was born in Ukraine and lived some decent amount of time, basically turned to a grown person there. So what is that Ukraine and Russia have in common? We have some political issues. We have lots of turmoil going on. But let me tell you what we have in common and why we should strive for peace and find peace, no matter what compromises should be done, why we should stop killing each other, why we should find peace. So Russia and Ukraine have thousands of years of history. We have thousands of years of relationships, of same culture, same religion, same I mean the Christian Orthodox, because Russia have more countries inside of it. But how it's all started, Russia actually started from Kiev, Ukraine. Kiev is the mother of Russian cities. I was born in Kiev, and we studied history, and we studied that Kiev is where Kievan Rus started, and that's then grew into a lot of other things, including Russia itself right now. So we have all this strong Slavic cultural Christian roots that's been connected and built for thousands of years. And for politicians trying to play different cards against each other, it just breaks break hearts of our people. We have in common what we have in common. We have also, of course, due to the history, we have all these people, language and people. We are all mixed together. We have it's very hard to find just a Russian or just a Ukrainian. We all mixed. It's a mixture. We all connected. All of most Ukrainian people have relatives in Russia. Most Russian people have relatives in Ukraine, and most people are mixed in between, together with other nationalities from the post-USSR. That's what we have together. But today, on this day of the Memorial Day, I want to tell you something else we have together. Something that should not be forever, should not be forgotten ever, and forever should be remembered, is that all together, all countries in post-USSR were fighting against the Nazi Germany. And anybody who says that Russia and Ukraine are enemies, that we have nothing in common but the borders, are either trying to play some game, or just do not realize or do not know the history. If our grandfathers, right now, unfortunately, most of our grandfathers, we still have some veterans, but most of our grandfathers, of course, are now gone. We have children of the war, people who like in their late 70s, 80s right now. But if those grandfathers who fought for us, who had to sacrifice and sometimes go knowing they're gonna die, but they might save a life, they were from all the countries in post-USSR. It was, that's why the war ended in our favor. We didn't have the equipment, we didn't have a lot of technology. It was a big disaster, but people won because of their bravery, because they were not going to give up themselves to be slave of Nazi Germany. And I feel that ignoring that's just being completely ignorant to saying, that's not important. No, that is very important. We were one nation under God. One nation, just like United States. And despite of the Soviet Union or communism or the communism structure, it doesn't change the people. We didn't have a control of the government. The government had control of us. But nevertheless, all these men and women too, women were nurses. They also were working in certain military organizations. They were trying to save those children that were born during the war or right before the war. All these people should be honored and should not be divided by nationalities and should not be fighting against each other. So my thought actually was that if those grandfathers, those men from Ukraine, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Russia, and all of these countries, I cannot tell you, it was a huge, humongous country. If they could see right now, if they could be alive right now, and they could see that we are not uniting to fight against the evil, to fight against the evil, to fight against the Nazi, that we instead fighting with each other. Do you even realize what that would mean for them? The whole meaning of their life, of their sacrifice, would be diminished by the ideas that's happening right now, that we have nothing in common, and then not only that, but we should fight with each other and kill our brothers and sisters, because it's nothing else. It's nothing else but our brothers and sisters. We are all connected. We are same people. Right now, the Ukrainian nationalists are trying to say that the World War II was that, you know, the communists were only doing certain things toward Ukrainian people. You know, we had starvation, we had denationalization. So it meant basically that in all Soviet republics, everybody had to speak Russian and then their language. And sometimes were suppressive toward ethnicities, and that is true. But it's not a good thing, so why to do these things over again? Our past president, Poroshenko, he was extreme nationalist. He doesn't care, you know, he was trying to behave as he had invented the Ukrainian language. He was trying to make actually a punishment. If you caught somewhere speaking Russian, then, you know, you are the enemy. I mean, it just goes to ugly, ridiculous ways. It's somewhat similar with, you know, the feminist movement. We needed feminist movement in the beginning so women can have their basic rights and be equal as a human being. But right now it's going to the ugly side, right? It's going to the side where it's going unfair and ugly, you know, toward men. So this is the similarities, that sometimes you need to make a change. But if you were not happy how you were treated years ago, so why would you do this now? Why would you just acknowledge what happened, agree with that, honor that, but you don't want to use the same techniques and tactics to do the same thing? It doesn't make any sense. And so today, on this beautiful Memorial Day, I just want to honor everybody who, you know, you maybe have your parents, your grandparents that fought in any kind of war. I just want to honor those people that, you know, risk their lives for our peace. And I'm praying today for a quick resolution, or maybe, I know it will take time, but I'm praying for the peace for the east of Ukraine. What I do like about our current president, I do really feel that his first priority is to stop the war. And I really hope, may the force be with him, because a lot of people in old Ukrainian government did not want to stop the war because they saw war as a business. And our ex-president Poroshenko became the richest person in Europe, you know, or maybe in the world, I don't know. I mean, in the world of politics. If compare the country, the size of the country, Ukraine, in last 5 years, Ukraine became one of the, if not the most poor financially, economically country in Europe, and he became the richest president. That's an interesting correlation. And I actually, you know, talked to some people in my family yesterday, and, you know, a lot of people do not support my beliefs, but, you know, you have your own judgment, you have to have knowledge, and you have to be able to analyze. And my videos and my perspective is not to convince that I'm right. It's not to convince anybody in anything, but it's just sharing a perspective based, surprisingly, on facts. So today, I just really feel a little bit emotional. It's always bittersweet. You realize that your very life right now, the peace we take for granted. Sometimes I feel, oh my gosh, it's pretty boring, live in a small town Michigan sometimes, or even in a big city. Sometimes you don't feel like your life is so vibrant, but then you realize that there is somewhere right now people are struggling to get water or food, or they don't know if their child will come back from their school. And therefore, when we're celebrating these holidays, we have to take this moment and honor those people that risk their life. Some, of course, lost their lives. So you and I can talk right now and tell our ideas of the world. So that's why I wanted to come out before our outing today. And I just want to wish you all, I want to wish you all a peaceful Memorial Day. Thank you for your support. Let's pray for Ukraine and the beautiful future for the country. It doesn't matter who you are for or what you believe in. The truth is Ukraine needs peace. It doesn't even matter on what side you are. If you want peace for your country, you will compromise. If you want a peace for your country, you will talk with the president of the other country. Because in the end, the only difference it's gonna make is the only difference when you wait to create peace earlier or later, the only difference is gonna be how many more people are gonna die and cities get destroyed. Because eventually you will have to sit down and make peace. If we're talking about people who are civilized, who don't want to live like a tribe and live outside in a carton box and get their cities and their cathedrals and their whole infrastructure destroyed. So I'm really praying for peace for Ukraine. I'm also, of course, praying for peace in all over the world. But to the topic of this video, Russia in Ukraine and Belarus, and Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus are probably the closest in from all these countries. We are so connected on so many levels. It's thousands of years of history, the Slavic culture, the common face, and once again, it's all those hundreds of thousands and millions of people who united together, who did not discriminate each other by their ethnicities, who united in one to fight over the Nazi Germany. That's what we have in common. And by the way, we're gonna have an anniversary of starting the World War II. It's June the 22nd, 1941. That's when the World War II had started in Ukraine. And I will see if my dad will agree to share a few things, because my dad is actually a child of the war. So he was 3.5 years old when it started. And that's a story of its own. So, when we get bored, when things are annoying, or, not exactly like we want to, we should always have this gratitude to having peace. Because peace, it's a base for everything. Anything can be achieved when you can have your home and be safe in your home. So let's be grateful today for all these men who serve, all these men who protect us, and some women are serving too and protecting us, for all these people who doesn't think twice before they put their life in order for our lives to thrive. So let's be grateful. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I just want to make a reminder on this day. I wouldn't go into too much political debates, but once again, at this point, after 5 years of a war conflict on the east of Ukraine, ask any single person on both sides of conflict what they want. And also ask how the economy completely falls again. It just destroyed. There is no way to get the economy back and going when you have war. You might not know that, but our wonderful president, quote unquote, that was before, do you know that he taxed every single person in Ukraine for the war? People did not ask him to engage in the war, but he had put a tax on every person's pension and salary, so people pay for it. And he can become a billionaire from a millionaire. And also people say that, oh, this new president, he is an actor, how can he be qualified? Well, our ex-president was a businessman who owned and still owns his factories. And by the way, he always say how horrific Russia is as it is. It doesn't hurt him to sell his candies over in Moscow. You can look up a Google address for Roshen candy. You can easily buy them all over Russia. So that kind of level of hypocrisy that I'll protect you, but I will protect you, but I will rob you. And I really feel that, I will rape you. That's how I feel. This is how I feel that the presidential... everything he done in the last 5 years, he just basically killed any chance for the country to ever recover. And it's a horrific crime, and I really hope he will be prosecuted for everything he had done. So it's really hard to stay away from this, but I don't see how he ever qualified to be a president, number one. And number two, I don't see how he stopped the war in 5 years rather than develop it. I don't see how he used his knowledge or natural talents to stop the war. Before he was elected as president, he promised to stop the war in 2 weeks. Now, 5 years later, you can like somebody or not like somebody, but there is this one beautiful thing. It's called facts. When you give somebody facts don't lie. And that's all I can say. Has nothing to do, with your personal likes, your personal beliefs, your education. Some people are talented to do their thing without the education. There are actors that never went to actor school. By the way, our new president is also a lawyer. He has a lawyer education. And he is a very smart person. It's going to be extremely hard for him to doing things, but he will do them. And I believe so for sure. So, once again, I know, guys, you can tell that some years of political science are coming in through the screen. I studied history and international relationships and political science. Really glad I didn't become a politician, because I would be like a fiery one. And I believe that each and every one of us is a president. That's what our new president actually told in his speech. He said, every single one of us is a president. Meaning, whatever we do with our life, with our family, with respect to others, forms the country. So let's think about personal responsibility, honor, and respect for those people who were making sacrifice, who are making sacrifice now, for those people who are good citizens. Let's be those good citizens, because every one of us is a president of our own little family, of our own community, and that's what makes a country. So it's not about convincing other people to change their beliefs, but it's about what we can do working with each other to achieve peace. What can we do working with each other to achieve peace? That is the goal. So, guys, still it's a beautiful sunny day. I'm going back to my feminine, okay, to my feminine energy. Thank you so much for joining. And let's take all of us today. Let's take a moment of quiet to remember, those people in our families, those people who are, serving right now, and those people that we never met, but they went out there and sacrificed the most precious thing. Thank you so very much, and I will see you soon, guys. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.